A new era begins now. This is ACC Gymnastics.
Absolutely outstanding.
Look at the height. This is just perfection.
Welcome to ACC Gymnastics.
Welcome to the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad. Tonight, we're at the Maverick Center in West Valley, Utah. And boy, do we have a big weekend of gymnastics scheduled for you with 12 outstanding teams over 3 telecasts. Let's take a look at our gymnastics schedule presented by Sprouts. Tonight, you'll see Arizona, Boise State, Nebraska, and North Carolina. But you're not going to want to miss tomorrow. 4 of the top 5 teams in the country: Oklahoma, LSU, Utah, and UCLA. Hi everybody, I'm Bart Connor along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark, and this is a historic night, and I'm very honored to be here with you because this is the first ever gymnastics meet on the ACC network.
What a way to elevate and amplify this incredible sport, and to have its own platform, the ACC network. ACC adds women's gymnastics. What a moment for all of these athletes. And what I love about this conference is how evenly matched these teams are. They will push each other every single week and compete themselves to greatness. Yes, it's been 40 years since the ACC sponsored women's gymnastics, and now with the addition of Clemson, who just had 8,000 people at their opening meet tonight. What an incredible start.
4 teams in the ACC: Clemson, North Carolina, NC State, and Pittsburgh. And for more, let's go down to our third party of our broadcast team, Taylor Davis.
Yeah, a new era begins. And when speaking with the student athletes this week, the same word was used: pride. UNC's Julia Noer told me we've all had our eyes on this season, the increased exposure, high-profile meets, and being part of history. But it all starts now, Bart. They're not just looking to compete. They're here to set the standard for ACC women's gymnastics.
There are a lot of world-class gymnasts in the competition tonight. Let's take a look at some of the leaders on each of these teams.
Boise State had a record-breaking regional, including Courtney Blackson scoring a 10-0 on vault, and North Carolina's Lolly Dekanoidze had the honor of being named the very first ACC Athlete of the Week. World Championship bronze medalist Emma Spence, and wow,
what
a great
meet
lineup.
we have on hand here in Utah. We're glad you've joined us in this historic telecast, the first ever gymnastics meet on the ACC network. Don't go away. Great gymnastics coming up at the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Squad. Sprouts Farmers Market for the refueling station for all the athletes to keep them energized during tonight's meet. Now, here's the quad meet format. There's 4 teams on the floor at the same time competing on 4 apparatus. Teams rotate in Olympic order, which is vault, bars, beam, and floor. 6 athletes will compete on each team, but you drop the lowest score, so you count the best 5 towards their team total. 2 judges on each event, and of course they average their scores and add them into the team total. 12 amazing teams here tonight, and I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark and Taylor Davis. We're doing a quad meet in a little bit of a different way. We have designed a system where you will hopefully see more gymnastics, see more routines, and it's called the double dual meet format. We'll explain it as we go on. But in this first rotation, we have on vault is Arizona. On bars will be Boise State. On the beam will be Nebraska, and on floor exercise will be North Carolina. Here is the first look at that double dual format. We have bars and vault. Caroline Harry first up on vault in the meet.
opens the meet with a Yurchenko full twist. That's that round off entry onto the board. The judges are looking for height and distance off that table, so they need a good block, good clean twist, and of course the all-important landing.
Malia Werlein up now on Boise State's bars. Good event for them.
The freshman opens up strong. Now, she normally would twist that dismount. Because she doesn't do the twist, they're taking care of a little knee. She will have a 9-9 start value on that uneven bar routine.
Quickly to beam now. This is Nebraska Isabel Saikon, their leadoff performer.
That daring mount is called a candle mount. You dive backwards, grab the beam, and hold on.
On the floor, Amy Wozniak for North Carolina.
Here comes the acro series, a requirement on balance beam. She does a back handspring, layout, step out, a little bit of a balance check. Amy will open with a combination pass on floor exercise on your right, a whip back to a tuck double back.
Last week, she was their leadoff competitor in their first meet of the season at a 9.775, the sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois.
Another requirement on both of these events that you're watching right now, beam and floor, are these leap combinations. They earn bonus for the more difficult leaps they do. Back handspring to a 1.5 twist dismount on the beam. Strong start for Nebraska.
Isabel Saikon, the freshman from San Antonio, finishing up strong on beam in that first rotation.
Final pass. This is a pike double back. Keeps those legs straight in that piked position. Good control on the landing. The judges will look at every single landing of their tumbling to see chest up high and feet controlled on the landing.
For Arizona on the vault now, Emma Strom. Caroline Harry had a 9.675.
Another Yurchenko fold, that's a 9.95 start value. It's based on the level of difficulty. And yes, she had a big hop on that landing, so that will be a sizable landing deduction.
Back to Boise State now, on bars. Elena McGovern, 9.825 was the score for Malia Werlein in the leadoff.
Her release move comes up right here. It's called a piked ganger. Notice how she separated her legs when she regressed. They'll have to take a deduction there. Want to keep those legs glued together, and she was a little bit short on that handstand. If you're shy of that vertical handstand, the judges will deduct, and of course the hop back on the landing.
Lucy Stanhope now competing for Nebraska. She is a transfer out of Utah. Isabel Saikon, we're waiting on her score. Stanhope was a key competitor in their championship run last year for Utah, wasn't she?
Especially on the vault. That's a huge add for Nebraska, but she's actually going to perform on, she works all 4 events for them. Critical routine here for them.
National team member for Great Britain.
She'll set up her acro series. Right after the full turn, a requirement on balance beam. All gymnasts must perform a full turn on 1 foot. Here's the back handspring layout, step out. Watch for good form and height. Oh! And unfortunately just...
Kathy, we have a new audience that hasn't probably watched a lot of gymnastics from the ACC network. Explain what happens when a fall takes place.
So a fall is a 0.5 of a point deduction. They have a minute to get back up onto the balance beam. They've lengthened that time just in the event if the gymnast is injured or needs to make sure they're not injured. There was another break on that side aerial.
Bella Miller now for North Carolina on the floor on the right of your screen after Wozniak notched to 9.725.
Opens with a front, through to a tuck double back. Lucy Stanhope finishing up on beam with a 1.5 twist. Unfortunately, this is the routine score that they will want to drop, because with that fall.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, 6 athletes for each team on each event, but you count just the best 5 out of 6 scores on that event towards the team total.
Pike double back. Judges really look for that chest up high on the landing to show the full amplitude.
To vault now, Arizona, Allison Fears.
Twisting Yurchenko. Nice set off the table. Notice how she really lifted up before she started that twist. Just a slight pike down on that vault. And a strong finish on floor exercise. So the judges sit right on the side. They can really see if the vault is elevated. See how she lifted those arms up before she turned into the twist. Really nice technique.
Here's the sophomore from California, competed in all 14 of Arizona meets last year. She's nursing a bit of a tweaked ankle from last week, so she did a nice job with there. Back to the bars now. Kylie Hamby after Elena McGovern had only 9.575.
First look at a release move that's called a ray. Comes from that toe-on position and flies backwards over the bar. A little short on that handstand. They really need to be up on top. Oh, nice job holding on, keeping those feet down on that landing.
Hamby, the sophomore from Edmond, Oklahoma. Competed in all 11 meets last year on the bars for Boise State. To the beam. Asia Hall after Stanhope notched a 9.225. That would be the score that they hope that they can replace.
This is a beautiful beam worker. Look at her posture, so tall on the beam. Beautiful straight legs, even throughout the entire acrobatic series. Keeps those toes pointed, legs straight. Oh, I love the elevation on beautiful. That front area. It's so elegant and so powerful at the same time, the lift. Very difficult jump right here. That head goes back. That's called a ring jump. I am loving this beam work. Nice, precise feet. Just the dismount here. Round off, 1.5 twist. Gets, hops forward. They'll take a deduction on the landing, but just gorgeous beam work.
Paul, the junior from Rogers, Arkansas, had a strong season last year as a sophomore, competed in 12 meets. Cameron Rueda now. Bella Miller had a 9.825 just before her.
This is a first look at an E tumbling pass. That's the highest level of difficulty. It's a full twisting double back.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Unfortunately, she stepped out of bounds. You saw that yellow flag go up at 1/10 of a point deduction for the step out of the bounds.
In addition to the slight deduction for the big step in the first place. Back to vault now. Malia Hargrove.
Big vault for them. A 1.5 twist with just beautiful elevation off that table.
Wow, that was nice.
Oh, that was nice too. Back 1.5. The front layout was a little bit short of rotation.
Hargrove over there on vault, one of the MVPs last year, competed several times in the all-around. Very balanced gymnast.
The last pass is a combination pass. It'll have 2 different saltos, which is a requirement on this event. First is a back. Oh no, a tuck double back. Oh, chest was forward, big hop forward. Oh, too bad, because it was nice and high. It was almost like she opened up just a little too soon and had to step forward.
Rueda is a freshman out of New Hampshire. Trained at Brestian's Gymnastics, of course famous for great athletes like Allie Raceman and Alicia Sacramone. Emma Simpton now, the junior from Dallas, for Nebraska on the beam. Before her, Asia Hall tied their high score over there so far, a 9-8.
Emma has impressive extension on this event, really shows off her flexibility. Triple series here, 2 back handsprings, layout, step out, and she was nervous. You could see it in the back handsprings, unfortunately.
Tough break for Nebraska. That means they will have to count one of those falls at least. Victoria Smirnoff on the bars.
Showing a lot of transition moves from low bar to high bar and back down to low.
Kylie Hamby before her at a 9.825.
Nice final handstand right on top of the bar. Oh, nice into inverted giant there. She's in an eagle grip. The hands are turned outward. Double front, very difficult dismount, done well.
What happens to a team after 2 falls on an event like beam in the first rotation? How do you recover?
Well, it's interesting because last year they started really strong and then had trouble holding on to that. This is not the start they want on this event. And these nerves can be contagious. You have to close the door. I could see she was nervous on the back handspring. She was too cautious, too careful, and you have to be aggressive and set it up, follow through, and finish.
Back to floor now. Kaya Forbes. Cameron Rueda had a 9.55.
Opens with a full twisted double back. Boy,
nice.
she made that look easy.
It did, it really did. Abigail Martin on vault for Arizona.
Big full, look at the distance.
Wow.
On that vault. That was huge.
He almost landed in
distance.
Provo. My goodness. He's coming after a 9.9 for Malia Hargrove before her for Arizona. So solid scores there in the first rotation there.
What a tumbler here on floor. Really shows great amplitude on these passes. Needs to get a little bit cleaner footwork into those leaps, a little bit flat-footed. Lifted that foot just a little bit after that tuck double back. Love the smile here, but once she gets a little more comfortable with this choreography and really showing off the routine like all college routines are, that's going to be a nice floor. She's just a little self-conscious in the dance, but boy, can she tumble.
Had a 9.9 as a season high last year. She's a sophomore from Gonzales, Louisiana. All right, a little extra pressure here now on Emma Spence. Now, she formerly part of the Canadian national team, in the mix really to compete at the next Olympic Games. Now, she's coming up after 2 falls. Adding at the bars at the same time, Victoria Blackson after Smirnoff scored a 9.85. Their high score for Boise State so far. Showing
off nice vertical handstands there on bars. Courtney swings so dynamically. A lot of energy. Nice move. That's Puerto Cortina. Release move on the high bar. You don't see those often. And a double layout. Beautiful shape in the air on that layout. Yeah, the nerves are definitely there. Front aerial to 2 back handsprings. Nice acro pass.
Nebraska's theme this year. This is the 49th year of the women's program at Nebraska. Their motto this year is unshakable. They're already testing that here in the first rotation. They do have a lot more depth than they've had in the past.
Switch lead to beat jump. Dismount, a 1.5 twist, a little short of rotation. Notice how she scooted back. That'll be a deduction.
Julia Noer now on floor after Kaya Forbes had a 9.8. Their low score in that event so far, the one they want to replace, is the 9.55 from Rueda.
Watch the lift on this pike double back, how she gets her arms up and really gets some nice elevation.
Abigail Martin on vault for Arizona had a 9.75. This is the anchor, Ansley Griever.
Another full twist. A little bit of angle in her shoulders on the table. When you have that angle, it's really hard to get the big block, but the afterflight was nice and clean.
Julia Noer, one of those athletes that every coach would want on their team. All their scores for her are normally in that 9.7, 9.8 range.
Jujite half, split full.
Scored as high as 9.9 and 9.95 on 3 events.
So she opened with a pike double back. This is going to be a double back in tucked position. Difficult at the end of the routine. Oh, and her knees just buckled. She was slightly under-rotated, so that's kind of an early season mistake.
All right, let's go to Taylor down on bars.
Yeah, guys, down here as Boise State contributes well on bars, and head coach Tina Bird told me yesterday it was important for them to start this meet strong on bars. It gave them some trouble in last week's meet. They needed to remind themselves the ability they have on this event.
She is a strong performer here. That's an E release skill. A piked Jaeger, much more difficult than the straddle Jaeger. Nice handstand, really nice leg form. Feet glued together the way through that double layout. That was a beautiful dismount. So well executed, and the form so polished.
Getting congratulations there from Ivan Alexov, the former Bulgarian national team member who coaches there at Boise State. To the beam now. Big pressure here. Sophia McClellan, the anchor competitor after Emma Spence had a 9.775. Remember, they have 2 low scores. Right now, they'll have to drop the 8.65 from Simpton.
She opened with a double wolf turn, a difficult turn on balance beam. This will be a back handspring layout step out. Nice lift, very solid. See how aggressively she attacked that and finished so strong by pressing into the beam.
Now Gwen Fink ready to go on floor, and the anchor competitor for North Carolina after Julia Noer got another 9.8. So solid, but not huge scores for Carolina in this first rotation on floor.
Opens with a double pike on floor. Here's the dismount back handspring, 1.5 twist in tuck position off the balance beam. That was important for Nebraska to finish strong. Difficult pass, 2.5 twist, very hard to control that landing. Switch ring to switch half, and the wolf jump full at the end. Needs to clean up those shapes just a little bit, bend the knee a little bit more in that ring jump. She'll close with her combination pass. Back 1.5 to front leg. Oh, really had to work that second skill around. Bent the legs, so they'll take form deductions. Just looked like she ran out of gas a little bit and mistimed that punch between those 2 elements.
Well, we're nearly a mile high up here in Utah, and sometimes that's difficult for athletes to adjust to who train at sea level. Takes a couple of days to catch your wind sometimes, doesn't it?
Good point.
In that first rotation, we saw a spectacular vault by Malia Hargrove, one of the 2 9.9s in that rotation.
It was a beauty. They need this 10-0 start value, and especially one that has done so well. Look at the form. Those legs are just glued together.
Let's take a look at the tech tools presented by AAI.
Check out the height above the table. Hips at least 5 feet up. Nice straight body line. Right there, I guessed it just perfectly. Hips right at 5 feet. I've done this a few times. And a nice controlled landing.
All right, that wraps up the first of 4 rotations. Boise State will have the lead after that first rotation and got off to a great start, as Taylor Davis said they need it. Let's go to Taylor.
Thank you so much, Mark. Coach Brink, a couple falls for you guys on that first beam rotation. What's your message to your girls to shake off that adversity?
You know, we got a lot of gymnastics left. It's 3 more events, so just get after it, bring it home, have fun. Just do normal. We just need to settle in and just do like we do at practice.
And you've got the veterans to do it. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, absolutely.
As we mentioned, this is the first time in the ACC for North Carolina. And we'll hear from them when we get back from the break. And we're back in Utah at the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad after the first of 4 rotations. Boise State, after a strong opening competition on the bars, has the lead by .225. Arizona second, North Carolina, and then Nebraska. We talked to the UNC athletes about how excited they are to be competing in the ACC this year.
It's a historic season, to say the least. Not just for UNC Gymnastics, but all the teams in this conference, UNC, NC State, Clemson, and Pitt. I think gymnastics has just been growing a lot recently, and women's sports just in general. ACC is very marketable, and I think that will help drawing crowds to not just our home meets, but ACC championships in general.
The ACC is what our student athletes, their peers, compete in, so they understand it. It makes sense to them. On campus, it's a big deal for our student athletes to be able to be recognized as their peers are recognized.
This is ACC Gymnastics. A new era begins now.
A special season is underway for UNC and the ACC, and head coach Dana Durante told us it's a true privilege to be a part of this with this team and group of student athletes. But she's getting the chance to do it with someone very special to her. Her daughter Sammy, former LSU gymnast, joined the staff as an assistant coach this past off-season. We asked Coach Durante how that balance has been. She said, "We're very intentional of keeping work and mother-daughter relationships separate. These two having a blast together, developing that working relationship and continuing to build this program at UNC." They head to vault as we return here at the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad. More high-flying action to come. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back to Utah. We're at the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad after 1 of 4 rotations. Boise State, a solid start on bars, is in first place. Couple of highlights: Emily Lopez, 9-9 on bars for them there. Nebraska, unfortunately, not the start they wanted with 2 falls on beam. They had to count one of those 2 falls towards their team total. Arizona currently at the bottom of the pack. So it's Boise State, Arizona, UNC, and Nebraska. On this rotation, Arizona is on the bars. You're looking at UNC there. They are on vault. On the beam will be Boise State, and on the floor will be Nebraska.
Starting on vault for UNC,
Isabel Schaefer will lead off. North Carolina there, and on bars it will be Emily Muller.
Isabel Schaefer is going to do a Yurchenko full, but in a tucked position. Kind of unusual. We usually see that vault done in laid out position. The new landing rule, the Gymnast must land every dismount and hold the finished position for a full second. Notice how the legs are bent. That is intentional. It's a tucked full twist.
Did she fulfill that requirement
Not
on the
quite.
landing?
Well, first
No.
of all, it's hard when you hop, but even if you hop, you then have to stop and show the finished position, or it's an additional 0.5 of a point. So let's watch closely. She hops and does not quite hold that full second, so they will take the additional 0.5 of a point. Toe handstand into a very big Tkachev. Nice same bar release.
As Emily Muller goes on bars, it's Alyssa Boulage for Boise State on beam.
Interesting combination there. Gainer back handspring to a layout step out, and a nice high flying double layout dismount on bars. Switch leap to a gainer layout step out. Nice, interesting combinations. Not ones you typically see on beam.
Boulage, the junior from Yorba Linda, California.
It's called a front toss. It's like a front flip off of one foot.
Chenge Boxkai now for Nebraska on floor. Competes for the Hungarian national team. One of several international athletes competing for the Cornhuskers.
Open with a difficult 2.5 twist to a punch front. Oh, look at that landing on beam. There's the hold, good finish.
Boxkai competed for the Hungarian national team, was in the World Championships in 2022. I believe she's the first Hungarian to compete in NCAA gymnastics. Gwen Fink for Vol or North Carolina?
Full twist in Yurchenko. I like the nice set. There's that finished position. So even though she took the hop, she'll get a 1/10 of a point off for the hop, but held the nice finish. Final pass, a pike double back. Just a little bit of flexed feet on that final tumbling pass.
Nebraska hoping to get it together in this rotation after a rough start on the beam.
A big, difficult 2.5 twist, punches right into a front tuck. And a double back in pike position. Notice the form could be a little bit tighter, straighter legs and pointed toes.
Sydney Coe on beam now. Love this mount.
You always do, Bart.
I do.
I'm sure one of them will teach it to you. And now watch, this is a slight variation of the acro series. She's going to do a back handspring layout, and instead of stepping out, she's going to pike down and land on 2 feet.
As Malia Hargrove goes for Arizona on bars.
Look at the height on that full twisting double back. Dismount off bars, very well done.
Hargrove following 9-8 from Emily Muller, who led them off.
This is a Sisson into a switch half. She got a little tentative going there, and when you do that, you don't show that full split after the half turn.
Sydney Coe, the sophomore from Rosemead, California.
Finishes with a 1.5 twist.
Oh.
Wow, look at the control and the air awareness on that dismount.
Lucy Stanhope now coming after Chenge Boxkai. Led them off with a 9-9. What a start for Nebraska, hoping to come back strong in this rotation.
Opens with her combination, back 1.5 to front layout. Watch on the leaps for the amplitude. They need to lift off the floor and show a full split in the air. Up right here, switch side to a side stratagem.
Julia Nowhere on vault.
Yurchenko full, nice amplitude. She finishes that layout full with her head still the height of the table. Good control on the landing, a little hop, but this will be a double back in tuck position. Nice elevation. Ooh. Oh, unfortunately, that landing's going to cost her.
Looked like she did not step out over the line, so there won't be an additional deduction.
Anytime there's a bounce on a landing, and especially when that back leg flew up behind her, they'll have to take a more sizable deduction.
You know that they're using that supplemental mat there in the corner. That's really just to protect their ankles from getting stung on the landings. But sometimes it's tricky to control that mat, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when your chest is forward. She was just in an awkward landing position to really control it.
That mat is legal as long as you have white tape on it to mark the out of bounds. Back to the beam. Emma Loyan. Sydney Coe had a 9.675.
It's a little nifty combination to a headstand.
Abigail Martin on bars for Arizona. 2 9/8s in a row to start them off there.
Maloney to a pack salto on the uneven bars. Nice series there on beam. There's the dismount on the bars. Double layout, nice lift. I think she lost her knees just a little bit. They bent, maybe she felt like she was close to the bar, but little form deduction there. Very solid. I am impressed with the work I'm seeing from Boise State on beam. I like the interesting passes. Nice combination, 2 switch leaps into the dismount, little hop on that landing. She had trouble in warm-ups connecting those 2 leaps, and she needs that series for her bonus, so well done.
Allie Rourke after Lucy Stanhope had a 9.825, so they have a 9.9 and an 8.25 so far, building a little momentum for the Cornhuskers.
Combination front, through to a double back. Nice control. Notice how she kept that foot down into the lunge.
Kaya Forbes now coming after Julia Nowhere had a 9.825 for Carolina on ball.
A big 1.5 twist here. Oh! I was afraid of that because the distance on that vault was crazy.
She was a mile away, yeah.
It needed a little more up and rotation rather than just straight out. Lovely arms in this routine. You can see her catching her breath before she goes into this final pass. It's another double back, this time in pike position. And you can tell, I could tell she was just a little tired. And she pulled around harder than she needed to. She didn't want to land short. So she just pulled those legs all the way around and too far over-rotated. That's just a conditioning.
Waverly, Nebraska. Yeah, it's a conditioning. It's early in the season, and we're at 4,248 feet, which is a lot different than Nebraska. So it air's a little thinner up here.
Yeah, even if it's not actually affecting you, it does, because in your thinking, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe.
Good point. Emily Lopez after Loyam had a 9.675.
Series. Oh, little balance check there.
Bayla McCabe for Arizona on bars. 3 scores, 9-8 or better. Solid start.
Nice handstand to open this routine. A little bit piked on that bail to handstand on low bar. You want to have those hips really open and flat. Double layout, a little over rotation and a hop back. Lovely toe point here, really shows off her balance beam work.
Lopez, the senior from Mission Viejo, California, competed at the NCAA championships as an individual along with her teammate Courtney Blackson.
Here's that handstand. Notice the judges sit right on the side so they can tell if you were in that perfectly vertical position. They also look for straight arms and a flat back and flat hip so that you look like you're sucked up a straw. You really want to be straight.
I love that Tech Tools camera presented by AAI. Thank you. Lali Dekanoidze now after Forbes had only a 9.35. They need a big one here.
Nice form in that Yurchenko full. Notice the lines there. Those are guides that the judges use.
Did you see how crooked those lines were?
I don't know who put those down there, but I was going to try to keep a straight face, Bart. Yeah, they should be a little bit straighter, but they're guides for the judges to see whether the gymnast is staying straight on the table and in line and not veering off to one side, which could be a deduction. I don't know what those lines are.
I think the coaches are trying to cover up just how crooked they are. Normally the coaches put tape down, but sometimes the tape bounces off the floor because it's vinyl and keeps bouncing up and down. So
okay, there's going to be a GIF out there. So, like there's going to be something with this out there with the gym nerds.
It's a general guideline, I promise you, but it's not like you say, it's not a deductible thing, but it gives the judges a reference point as to where they were in line with the vault table. Back to the beam.
And this is a fun routine. Adriana Pop is so good on this event. Front aerial. Wait till you see her triple series, Bart. It's very difficult. And if she attacks it as aggressively as she did, it's right here. 2 back handsprings. The second one onto 2 feet. Layout, straight body.
Wow.
Look at that. Nicely done. That's exciting.
Competed in every meet last year for Boise State. This 5th-year senior from Easton, Pennsylvania. Martina Comine now for Nebraska on the floor.
Nice job on beam. What a routine. Well done.
You see Comine performing. She's coming after Rourke after she fell out of bounds, scored only 8.925. So after 2 great scores, 9.9 and 9.825, Nebraska needing to get back on track with their final 3 competitors. Paige Prejean will be the final competitor.
They're doing a full twisting Yurchenko. A little bit of a pike down, but well done. Nice performance quality, really
Beautiful.
well done.
Next up on bars from Arizona, Allison
Martina Comine from Nebraska, originally out of Italy.
This was a really nice routine. Difficult full twisting double back to open the routine.
Sydney Leitch now, after Adriana Pop had a 9.875.
A reverse full turn.
Sophie Durr on bars now for Arizona after McCabe's 9.8.
Beautiful work on that toe hand into the ray, a little bit close to the bar on that regrasp. When the arms are bent, they'll deduct. But I love the aggressive swing. She's just a little bit off. But this is going to be a really, really good routine for them. A lot of difficulty in that. So high on that full twisting double back. Love it. Sydney Lee finishing up. Oh, front toss. Little nervous mistakes. That little extra step, slightly off, and you could just see the nerves creeping in a bit. Switch leap into a gainer pike off the end.
Sophia McClellan will be on floor for Nebraska. By the way, Martina Comine for Nebraska got a 9.925 on floor prior, and that, of course, was her career high score and the high score of the night. So that brings up McClellan to remember they have an 8.925 they hope to replace.
So her opening pass here is also an E-level skill, but it's front tumbling. This will be a front double twist. Nice step into that arabesque. You can really cover up the large step she would have taken.
Known as a good competitor, she's a senior from Camarillo, California, a transfer from BYU.
I like the eye contact she makes with the audience as she performs. Beautiful full body fluid movement. Finishes with more front tumbling, a Rudy to a sky-high layout step out, very elegant. Well performed.
This is Sunday afternoon women's basketball triple header. It'll be Pitt squaring off against BC at noon Eastern. Then number 15 Louisville hosts Wake Forest. And in the afternoon is capped off by Virginia and number 20 North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Women's hoops every Sunday right here on ACCN and the ESPN app.
Beautiful handstand. Into that Tkachev. Look how she snaps those legs together. So straight, so stretched and long.
As Allison fears their anchor competitor.
Just effortless swing, straight arm work. Great speed on those giants. And, oh, almost a stick, not quite. Great routine.
All right, we're going to go down to Taylor. Nebraska's still on the floor, and outstanding athlete coming up next is Emma Spence.
Yeah,
Taylor?
Bart, Emma's one of many gymnasts who are balancing both elite and NCAA gymnastics as she hopes to qualify for the 2024 Olympics. I spoke with her this week, and she said schedule management can be a challenge when you're trying to do both, and she's decided to focus on one at a time. So during NCAA season, she will not be participating in any international competitions. She will participate in those in August and April at the end of the season leading up to trials. She said it is better for her to be fully present with this Nebraska team, a place that she says has developed her as both a gymnast and a person.
Not only is it a challenge with the schedule, it's also a challenge with the gymnastics, because international elite gymnastics quite a bit different than college gymnastics in terms of the rule requirements.
Yes, requires so much more difficulty. They do more tumbling passes and more difficult skills all the way around.
She was an alternate to the Canadian Olympic team 2020 Olympics, Tokyo.
But made history with them when they won the bronze medal at the World Championships for the team.
First one ever for Canada. It was the bronze in 2022.
Switch ring. Needs to tighten up the platform just a little bit on those leaps. It's one thing we've noticed the benefit of many of these elite athletes doing NCAA gymnastics, because the emphasis is on clean execution on everything. So they really work on that when they compete NCAA. Had to really work to get that pike double back around. Showed her experience there. Well done.
That wraps up rotation 2. Let's go back down to Taylor. She has a Boise State head coach.
Thank you, Bart. Coach, you told me yesterday how important it would be for your team to start strong on bars. They did that. What did your team show you in these first 2 rotations?
Well, our goal today was to swing for the fences and just be aggressive. So they did that. We had a few wobbles on beam, but they were still pretty aggressive, so I'm pretty proud of them.
Ready to keep swinging in the next 2. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Bart.
However, Arizona has passed Boise State into first place at the halfway point. Lincoln, Nebraska may be in the middle of the country, but they have been able to recruit from all over the world. When we get back, we'll see where the Huskers hail from. And welcome back to Utah. We mentioned that Nebraska has quite an international contingent. Let's take a look at some of the athletes who have journeyed all the way to the middle of America. 2 from Canada, 1 from England, 1 from Hungary, and 2 from Italy. Let's go down to Taylor Davis with more.
Well, we have a homegrown gymnast on this roster, and it's been a family affair for Kinsey Davis. Both of her parents, Kevin and Elizabeth, were also gymnasts at Nebraska. Her mother, Elizabeth Bertolotti, lettered for Husker women's gymnastics in 1985, and dad, Kevin, was a 7-time All-American, 2-time NCAA champion, as well as a member of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Kinsey said their support has meant everything to her, and she's learned from both their experiences and their challenges to become the gymnast and the leader that she is for this Nebraska program. And she will lead them to vault in the lead-off spot as we head to the next rotation here in the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad. More exciting action ahead. We'll be right back.
Farmers Market Collegiate Quad here in Utah. Here's tomorrow's basketball triple header. Number 121, Clemson hosts Boston College at Littlejohn to start us off at 3 Eastern. Then 11th ranked Duke hosts Georgia Tech at Cameron Indoor. And finally, Miami and Virginia Tech square off in Blacksburg. Should be a great afternoon and evening of hoops on the ACC network. Arizona has continued to climb over the last several years under the leadership of John Court. 25 years with the program, but 6 years in the head coaching position. Kathy, some of the highlights there.
We talked to him before training yesterday. He is such a calm, cool coach. He just really is, and stays quite even keels. He said, no, they're on their own out here. We do the work when we're back in the gym, in the training, and he's done a tremendous job, especially in these last few years. They've really made this climb.
All right, let's take a look at the meet summary to this point. There has been a change in score. Emily Lopez from Boise State went from a 9.725 to a 9.775. So that means that Arizona State and Boise State are now tied for the lead. Nebraska 2 floor scores over 9-9 after their struggle on beam in the first rotation. Nebraska just 0.2 of a point from the lead. So a pretty tight competition here in the early part of this 2024 season, and the first telecast ever on the ACC network. Well, here is Kinsey Davis. We know her parents well. Of course, Kevin was a '88 Olympian, and mother all as well. Outstanding athlete. Kinsey, last week at Iowa State, had a 9.775.
She drilled the landing last week. Yurchenko full, and 2 in a row.
Yeah.
She's like, Yep, I did that.
Oh, I love that. It's almost like reminding the judges, hey, by the way, my feet are not moving, just so you know.
No,
that was good.
Great. Just a little bit of soft knees and a slight pike, but wow. left the last impression with the judges. You can't do it better than that.
Oh, the senior who has competed in almost every meet of her Nebraska career, communications major. I'm sure Kevin and Elizabeth are quite proud of that. To the bars. North Carolina. Jessica Naranjo will lead off Carolina.
Opens with a toe hand. And now right into a ray. Flies backwards over the bar. Nice regrasp. Losing her toe point just a little bit. Back salto down to the low bar.
Caroline Harry's on beam for Arizona at the same time.
Back row series, a nice handstand there on your right. Very solid landing. On balance beam, a little hop on this landing, but great start for North Carolina. Here's her leap series. That second one much more difficult with the half turn in the air.
Alyssa Boulage on floor for Boise State at the same time.
And a 1.5 twist off beam, great landing.
Nice job over there on beam for the senior from Argyle, Texas, one of the team captains.
Difficult combination, a back 1.5, and then twist the second element, a full twist. Need a little bit more split on that second leap.
On the vault, Asia Hall.
Yurchenko full, slightly under-rotated. That's why she had to take that hop forward. That's a little more of a deduction when you under-rotate a ball.
Kinsey Davis before her for Nebraska led them off with a 9.825.
Finishes with a tuck double back, really high. So some fun music, fun choreography to kind of match her spunky personality.
She led off on beam and now floor as well. That's not always the easiest position, but some athletes like to go right after the warm-up so they still feel fresh, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that in Utah when you're still breathing hard, but really difficult combination pass. When you twist both of those elements back to back, a little more bonus points for those.
On beam, it's Emily Muller on the left screen. Arizona, non-bars, Julia Noer after Jessica Naranjo had a 9.65.
Open with a release move that's called a ginger on the high bar. Bail the handstand, a little awkward in that handstand position on low. Very solid on beam. Notice her strong arm, strong core. Really finished positions on every pose. Lost her back foot a little bit on that switch leap. Really needs to extend that toe point. These are the little details that they work on all season long. These are those, when they say they want to get a half-tenth better, those are the little things they can improve. And the dismount, see if they can get another stick here. 1.5 twist, oh, big hop forward.
Elech now on floor, Boise State.
Double pike, large step back and the foot slid just a little bit.
Lucy Stanhope now coming after the second 9.825 in a row for the Cornhuskers. That one from Asia Hall.
This can be a very big vault. Nice amplitude.
Oh my.
Oh no, an awkward landing.
Oh.
Final pass, tuck double back. Got a little off balance there at the end.
We're attending to Lucy Stanhope, a senior from Warrington, England. Malia Hargrove coming up on beam now. She gets a couple of notes. Taylor Spears, former OU gymnast, and 10 years ago, the national champion on beam, is on their coaching staff.
Now for the front straddle cut.
Gwen Fink on bars.
Oh, nice high straddle Jaeger on bars. Acro series here on beam. Back handspring layout, step up, very solid. A little short on that final handstand on bars. Ready for the dismount double layout. Boy, took that out, but found the landing, and unfortunately a fall on beam. Difficult jump there. That's called a sheep jump, the second jump out of the split jump. Very difficult. You really take your eyes off the beam, arch all the way back. There's the dismount, round off 1.5 twists. Unfortunately, that fall will drop her 0.5 of a point, so they'll look to drop that score. Opens with a Rudy to a layout step out. McGovern here on floor exercise for Boise State.
As Elena McGovern continues on floor for Boise State, Martina Comine, after a big score on floor here on vault for Nebraska.
A 1.5 twist, 10-0 start value, just that little step with the left foot. Finish with a tuck double back. Chest was a little bit low. She looks really happy with that performance. Well done.
Let's go down to the beam. Taylor's there.
Guys, gymnastics was a whole new world for Elena Dietz's parents, Tim and Cheryl Dietz, who actually adopted Elena from China when she was 1. She said there was no gymnastics in the family, no experience to what this world was. It was a childhood friend who invited her to a class when she was 6 years old, and it took off from there. But she said both of her parents were incredibly supportive, even through uncharted waters, and knew a high quality of life for Elena would include a sport like gymnastics.
And Taylor, she is absolutely beautiful on this event. So elegant, so poised.
To bring a lot of energy to this team. That's one of the reasons she's one of their 3 team captain, as Isabel Schaefer takes to the bars for Carolina.
Clear hip, down to a bail handstand. gorgeous form on that back handspring layout, step out. Look at the posture, the stretch, and the precision with her footwork. Up on high toe. Beautiful toe point. The details are just gorgeous. Great landing there on uneven bars.
What's it like commentating two routines at the same time, Kathy?
I feel like I've got two brains and they're like fighting each other.
I'm very impressed.
Switch side. I am enjoying this though so much. Beautiful footwork, beautiful hands, arms, posture, everything, and a nice cover. She turned to the side a little bit, slight deduction there.
Emma Loyan for Boise State on the floor. They finally broke into they have 3, 9, 8 plus scores there, so very respectable score for Boise State. Currently tied for the lead coming into this.
That was a gorgeous back leg on that leap going into the dismount on beam. Beautiful beam. Switch side to Popa. Nice extension in that straddle position.
Chengay, box sky for Nebraska.
Yurchenko, 1.5 twist. Look at the amplitude.
Yeah.
That was really beautifully executed. The step forward, of course, will be a deduction, but you could see how she got that individual qualifying spot for the Olympic Games to represent Hungary, her home country. High double back.
Oh, yeah.
Her gymnastics is so tight, so compact, really clean.
Expect another solid score, 4 in a row so far for Boise State. On beam, Abigail Martin will take her turn. They have an 8.95 from Malia Hargrove after that fall. So that is the score they hope to replace when the 5 athletes count out of 6 competitors towards the team total.
Beautiful position and shape in those leaps. You can really see the effect. Taylor Spears is the beam coach for Arizona. She was a beautiful beam worker herself at Oklahoma. Back handspring layout, step out, so solid, so confident.
Carly Decanoidze on bars.
Big event for them. Nice handstand. Double layout, nice flight, little slide back, but very tiny.
Just coming after their high score over there, Isabel Schaefer had a 9.925 at career high.
Very sharp, crisp movement on beam, really showing off her prowess on this event. An absolutely impeccable toe point. Oh, just a hop on the landing. Would have loved to have seen a stick there. Lovely routine.
Blake Pascal coming after Emma Loyan has scored so far the highest score of the meet, a 9.95 for Boise State just before her. Emma Spence, the anchor vaulter for Nebraska.
Came on a little high and just barely pulled that vault out. When you come on high onto that table, you cannot get the block and the rotation you need. But she saved the fall, but there will be big deductions. Back 1.5 to front layout. So you were asking me, Bart, who's the big Eagles fan? she's performing on floor right now from Pennsylvania.
Allison Fears.
Ooh, lost her toe point a little bit on that split jump on floor, but nice amplitude. Back handspring layout, step out on beam, very solid. You could see how deliberately she held that finished position on beam. Can really see her working through some nerves. I saw it in the warm-ups, but she is handling it really well.
9-9 was the score on bars for Lali Dekanoidze as Kaya Forbes gets the anchor spot.
And this is a strong, dynamic routine. She loses her form. You see the leg separation and the toes losing that form. Those are all the little things she can work on to improve. The big swing here, big dismount, full twisting double back. And people might remember the coach there, Mackenzie Maquato, a great Florida gymnast.
It's great to see a lot of these former NCAA stars working their way into coaching. You mentioned Taylor Spears and her as well. I mean, there's several out here that had superb careers. Courtney Blackson will be the anchor competitor for Boise State. All of their scores between 9.825 and 9.95. Remember, coming into this rotation, tied with Arizona.
Front double full to a punch front. She makes things look so easy. Got a little bit cockeyed on that first leap. Really want to see both legs parallel to the floor. Now this should be a huge 2.5 twist. Round up 2.5 twist, well done, very difficult. Her teammates loved it. That was great form on that Shushanova there at the end. Love the polish, the toe point, the little details.
And the joy.
And the fun, yes.
Exactly. A great rotation for Boise State. On floor, they will be the leaders going into the fourth and final rotation. They broke that tie with Arizona. Let's go down to Taylor with an update on Nebraska's Lucy Stanhope.
Yeah, Bart, very disappointing scene down here on the floor after Lucy went down. Clearly it's an ankle injury. She spent some time with the trainer over here on the table, had that ankle substantially wrapped with ice, was actually just wheeled back into the locker room in a wheelchair by one of her teammates, one of many who went to check up on her. I spoke with Coach Brink, who told me it's disappointing. You hope for the best, but you never know in situations like this. She was slated to lead off in the next rotation. It will be Genesis Gibson who gets the call to lead them into the next rotation. This team looking to rally together and finish this thing out for Lucy.
All right, we hope she's okay. Those short landings are really tough on the ankles, and we wish her the best. All right, when we come back, we'll get set up for the fourth and final rotation. A couple of highlights for sure in that third rotation. Boise State has surged into the lead. Here is the scoreboard after 3 of 4 rotations. Boise State, with an outstanding rotation on the floor, has the lead. Arizona second, Nebraska third, and North Carolina trails in fourth. Hi, everybody. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. We've seen some highs and some lows in this meet early in the season. What has impressed you particularly?
So we saw some nervous beam, but I also saw some beam work that I really loved seeing, some interesting combinations, a little bit more difficulty. And Boise State, I mean, right now for them to do the beam that they did, they're in the position they are.
There's a lot of athletes that we want to talk about tonight, but let's especially focus on our featured athletes presented by Sprouts. Courtney Blackson and Emily Lopez from
Boise State. Yes, they had a record regional. Both of them qualified as individual qualifiers to the national championship. Emily Lopez on bars, Courtney Blackson on vault at the finals. And boy, at regionals,
was that fun? We both
thrill.
commentated on that, and it was such a thrill to see her drill that vault.
I don't know what I liked better, the vault or her reaction after they were both just fabulous.
That's a landing.
That is a landing, and from every angle you could just see she was so right on. Clean form, nice execution, grabs the hammer. Yep, she nailed it.
All right, so we're going to move to the fourth and final rotation in a few minutes here. By the way, when we come back, guess who's going to be on the vault? Courtney Blackson. Yay. And welcome back to Utah. We're set for the fourth and final rotation in the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad. Boise State has owned at least a share of the lead this whole competition. They were in first after the first rotation, tied with Arizona after the second, and after the third rotation, outstanding performances on the floor, including Emily Loyam's 9.95. They have surged into the lead by 0.4 of a point over Arizona, followed by Nebraska and Carolina. In this rotation, Boise State will be on the vault, Arizona on the floor, Nebraska on the bars, and North Carolina on the beam.
Lucy Stanhope would have been in this first spot on the uneven bars. Dennison Gibson has come in for her. Sydney Coe opens with a Yurchenko full, a little bit off center, and I believe she was slightly piked. Double layout. Nice job stepping in last minute into this lineup.
Yeah, how tough is that on an athlete? I mean, obviously, you feel bad that a teammate went down, but you're not necessarily in the mental focus to be ready to compete, are you?
This is something that really good teams prepare for. In fact, do you remember talking to Sarah Patterson, the great Alabama coach, who said she would throw scenarios at them like that. Oh, somebody's grip broke. You know, now you have to go, or, you know, somebody went down, and they practice those surprise scenarios to be ready.
Dana Durante there coaching her team at North Carolina. She herself a former outstanding gymnast. Now the head coach there giving Jessica Naranjo a couple of notes before she goes. Elena Dietz coming after her spectacular routine in the last rotation.
And like Queen, Elena is beautiful on this event. That jump, very difficult. A ring jump with a full rotation in the air. From layout to front full. Jessica Naranjo, the freshman for North Carolina on beam. This lead-off position is so important on balance beam. It takes the right mindset, confidence. You really want to have trust in this athlete to start you off strong. Switch half, a little cautious, lost a little bit of toe point. Little details they can work on.
Morano from Hialeah, Florida, did not compete last weekend in their opening meet. Leadoff spot on bars and beam here.
Handspring to a 1.5 twist. Nice open at the end. Couldn't quite get the stick.
This is Sunday afternoon's women's basketball triple header. Pitt squares off against BC at noon Eastern. Then number 15 Louisville hosts Wake Forest. And the afternoon is capped off by Virginia and number 20 North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Women's hoops every Sunday right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Emma Simpton on bars, Elena McGovern on vault.
Beautiful form on the bars. Love this toe point. Slight leg separation there.
Leadoff competitor for Nebraska on the bars. Gibson got a 9-5 in that leadoff spot.
She loses her toe point at the end of her glides, but up at the top in those handstands really shows it off, and a good landing on that dismount.
Allison Fears having a solid night. You see her scores range from 9.75 to 2.9825. She could clinch the all-around title, which, of course, this meet is mostly about team competition, but they also award all-around champions, and we have some great all-arounders in this meet.
Loved watching her in training. Really dances full out. Opens with a double tuck. Tried to keep that front foot down. Rudy, little bit low chest landing.
Cameron Rueda for North Carolina beam after Naranjo got a 9.725.
First series on beam, back handspring layout. Oh, she saves it. 1.5 to front full. Again, difficult combination, twisting both of those elements.
Arizona was 4/10 of a point coming into this final rotation behind Boise State. They're currently in second place.
Front tuck. Little balance check there. She's had two. One that was more significant, but anytime you lift your foot to correct your balance, it's a more significant deduction than a lean balance check.
North Carolina about 1 point behind the leaders, Boise State, in this team competition. Whitney Jenks on bars after a 9.85 for Emma Simpton.
Solid beam routine. Some balance breaks in there, but got through it. Dismounts with a double layout. Nice leg form in the air.
Jenks, the freshman from Madison, South Carolina, South Dakota. Oh, here's good news. Lucy Stanhope back out on the floor, getting attended to by the trainers. The ball.
Full ball, front pike,
Oh, I love it.
We always get excited when we see those balls.
Yeah,
A lot more now.
Yeah, I see that. Adriana Pop.
And she popped. Popped right off the table.
For sure.
She was a little bit piked as she came in for the landing. You really want to open that out completely to spot the landing.
Their scores have not been huge for Boise State. Remember, they're the leaders, but 2.9, 6.75 up until that ball. Let's see what they get. Emma Strom on floor for Arizona after Allison Fears had a 9.85.
And talk about performing. She really performs this fully. 1.5 twist to a back layout step out. Nice extension and elevation on those leaps.
Allie Thompson on beam after Cameron Rueda had a 9.375. Extra pressure on Carolina here in this final rotation. They trail by about a point from the leaders.
Triple series, 2 back handsprings to a layout step out. Little shaky on the landing. Back 1.5 front full. Many of the Arizona gymnasts use that combination pass. Really well done. You have to wonder if she's ever in a bad mood in training, doing this floor routine. Does she just not smile? I think that's impossible.
Miss Strom's mother was a gymnast at Denver, Michelle Strom.
Good concentration and focus all the way through to the end. Little side step on that landing.
Count that as a hit, though. They're trying to replace that score of Cameron Rueda's 9.375. Clara Colombo now, one of the Italian national team members. That was big.
Yes, nice combination. That's called a Higgins when you turn into that eagle. Oh, little awkward right there. Lost her momentum, but into a big release move. Very exciting combination. Another Higgins turned into a front giant and a double front with a half twist. Nice and high, a little over rotated.
And another unusual vault over there for Boise State, Alyssa Boulage.
That's a full-on pike off. So she does the round-off entry on this vault and then twist onto the table with a full twist and then a back pike off. Big step on the landing, but it's so fun seeing different vaults. Very refreshing.
It's tricky to get that full twist completed before you hit the table to do the single pike somersault off. Tricky vault. We're seeing a couple of unusual vaults this year. We're so used to seeing the same thing over and over. It's nice to see some originality. Emma Strom had a 9.825 for Arizona on the floor, and that brings up this young lady, Emily Muller. All of Arizona's scores are 9.825 or more. Gwen Fink on beam.
Nice switch leap on beam. Tell me you're not tapping your toes to this.
Pretty groovy.
Back 1.5 to front layout. Oh, layout on beam. Very well done. Difficult, nicely executed. Tuck double back, nice and high, nice control. I loved all that jazz. That was fun.
And Fink finishing up here on beam for North Carolina.
Back handspring to a 1.5 twist. Really strong routine. They needed that. That was wonderful to see.
They have been rather hot and cold on this event of late.
Look how straight she is with the beam. Keeps those hips, shoulders in line.
Great.
It's core strength and just that Air awareness, that kinesthetic sense, keeping your center in line with the center of the beam and making the minor little adjustments only when necessary. Look at the smile on Dana Durante's face. She loved that one.
Emma Spence as Emily Lopez takes to the ball.
Oh, almost got the stick. They'll take off for piking down and landing with that chest forward. Nice Van Leeuwen there, that transition from low bar to high bar with a half twist. It's a full pirouette into a tuck double back. Held on to the landing. Those are some strong feet.
Are you seeing the athletes really focus on that stick rule that we were talking about at the top of the show?
Yes, and that really needs to be choreographed. You have to know how to react if you're going to take a step or a little hop. It's always better to slide a little scoot instead of a step and then hold that finished position.
Julia Noer on beam on the left of your screen, and Caroline Harry on floor for Arizona. Before her, Emily Muller, a 9.925, one of the high scorers today in the meet.
Handspring layout on beam, well done, and double back on floor, nice and solid. Lead back weight was a little bit low, a little hesitation in that lead. Back 1.5 to front layout, good control. Front toss on beam to a beat jump.
The battle within the battle, Julia Noer on beam. With a 9.95, she could win the all-around today over Allison Fears, who currently has the lead. Oh, pretty good.
Really good landing. She was a little bit careful on her leap series. Good landing on the double pike.
All right, we set this one up. Remember, we called her perfect 10 last year at the NCAA Regional. She can really fly. We'll see if she can hold on to the landing. This is Courtney Blackson after Lopez gets a 9.65.
Oh, just did a full twist here. I don't know if she had planned to do her 1.5. I don't see the number flash to see if she had just planned to do a full. Normally we would see a 1.5 twist.
There is Kinsey Davis on bars after Emma Spence had a 9.8.
Maloney up to the high bar, into the bail handstand. All those positions you want to see perfectly in that vertical handstand. She has a beautiful tight body, nice flat back, open hips on her swing. That's it. I can't read her lips, but yes, held it for the full second. She is happy with that, and she should be.
Good job for Kinsey Davis. A solid rotation for Nebraska, who got off to a rough start on the beam in the first rotation of this meet. Nebraska in third, coming into this fourth and final rotation. Dana Durante giving a few notes to Taylor Schultz. Malia Hargrove on floor. 9.9 for Caroline Harry before her, so terrific scores for Arizona on floor in this rotation.
An opportunity for both of these two gymnasts. Taylor can be really tough and pull out the hip they need on beam. Malia can come back strong from a fall on beam. front full.
Remember, Arizona was trailing Boise State by 4/10.
Oh, that was awesome. I don't know if I could do that. Stop right in that headstand. Well, I know I can't now. What am I talking about?
I mentioned they're 4/10 behind coming into this rotation, but guess what? With some mediocre scores for Boise State on vault and some solid routines for Arizona,
Good job there.
they're going to win this one, irregardless of the score of Hargrove, and that was fun to watch.
Oh, great routine. That was just so much fun to watch. A lot of unique choreography. Love that headstand.
Gotta try that.
You first.
All right, we're going to go to break here in Utah. John Court very happy with his team. We documented how they've been on a climb. Well, we'll give you the final results when we get back. Tomorrow's basketball triple header. Number 21 Clemson hosts Boston College at Littlejohn to start us off at 3 Eastern. And 11th ranked Duke hosts Georgia Tech at Cameron Indoor. And finally, Miami and Virginia Tech square off in Blacksburg. Should be a great afternoon and evening of hoops on the ACC network. Here is our final score here in Utah at the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad. Arizona, on the strong tumbling and floor routines in that last rotation, surged ahead to win this one. And they were led by several outstanding gymnasts, including Allison Fears, who is our all-around champion tonight, Kathy.
Great to see her back in the vault. She didn't do vault last year, so started her all-around performance strong there. One of her best events, the uneven bars. Beautiful execution. Great work on the precarious balance beam. And then put it all out there on the floor exercise. Dancing full out, finding these landings, difficult combination pass. Great night.
And Allison Fears is with our Taylor Davis right now.
Yes, she is. Thank you, Bart. Allison, you were just telling me the first meet of the season, always impressive to come out here and get a win. But you guys were trailing heading into the final rotation. You go and leave it all out on floor and come away with the win. What did this show about this team?
It just showed that we can persevere when it comes down to the line. I mean, we were, neck and neck with another team, and we showed that we can go out there and do what we need to do to win, so.
Amazing. And an all-around title for you, a big night for you tonight. How important was it for you to go out and contribute for your team throughout?
This is my first all-around meet since my freshman year, and I just really wanted to come out here with confidence and show what I can do because I feel like I haven't reached my full potential in an all-around meet yet. So I thought today would be the perfect day to do so.
A good day indeed. Congrats on the win. Go enjoy it with your team.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Congratulations to the Wildcats and Allison Fears. Let's take a look at our gymnastics schedule presented by Sprouts. Tomorrow, we're on ABC with 4 of the top 5 teams in the country: Oklahoma, LSU, Utah, and UCLA. Expect a big crowd for that one. Tomorrow night, California, Michigan State, BYU, and NC State will be at 9 Eastern on the ACC network.
Arizona.
And we got gymnastics on ACCN all season long. Their first year in 40 years sponsoring gymnastics, and they will have a robust television schedule, including the ACC Championship on March 23rd. So welcome to the big time, ACC Gymnastics. All right, we'll take a break and we'll come back. And some final thoughts on tonight's opening competition for many of these teams.
Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad is brought to you by Sprouts Farmers Market. Find your healthy. And TaxAct. TaxAct guarantees your max refund. Let's get your taxes over with @taxact.com.
Oh, great opening night here in Utah. Here is the final score. Arizona on a strong rotation in that final floor exercise performance, consistent all night with a 49 plus on all 4 events. Surged to the lead, Boise State, Nebraska, and North Carolina. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark, and Kathy, we're off and rolling here at the Sparks Farmers Market event. What do you think about tonight? You saw some highs and lows, I guess, right?
Absolutely. I was really happy to see Nebraska come back after 2 falls on beam. They came back strong. I was happy to see North Carolina. They had a fall in their lineup, but they finished strong. Really, their anchor came on and finished that beam routine strong. I loved Boise State on beam and floor.
Yes.
They were good from start to finish, and then Arizona really shining on floor exercise. They were excellent on beam, and that was the key. I mean, who really won the meet? They had to win beam, and they fought hard. They did good beam, and then floor exercise went lights out. They were great.
You mentioned Nebraska coming back strong after the rough start on the beam. Well, their big highlight tonight was the high score of the night from Kinsey Davis on the bars.
That was exciting. First, she stuck her vault, and then she goes over to the uneven bars, and cool as a cucumber, flying from bar to bar, hitting the handstands, all of the check boxes. She just checked them off, hit those handstands, flew high, drilled the landing, talked to herself there at the end. I want to know what she was saying, because that was awesome.
I love that head nod. It's like, just so you know, my feet are not moving, judges. Well done. Let's take a look at our NCAA season preview. Multiple gymnasts this year competing in college gymnastics, also training for the 2024 Paris Olympics. ACC Gymnastics returns for the first time in 40 years. And NCAA and ESPN have renewed their deal, the coverage of the championship on ABC through 2032. Wow.
Wow.
We got it in us. Oh, that's great. Well, lots of exciting gymnastics to come through this whole season in 2024. Of course, we'll be there all the way till the end at the NCAA Championships in Fort Worth, and excited to see what transpires. And tomorrow, a big one with 4 of the top 5 teams in the country. You're not going to want to miss that one on ABC. So Arizona wins over Boise State, Nebraska, and North Carolina. Join us tomorrow at 2 for more exciting quad meets. 4 p.m. Eastern on ABC. It's Oklahoma, UCLA, LSU, and Utah. And then later at 9 Eastern on the ACC network, Cal, NC State, BYU, and Michigan State. For Taylor Davis and Kathy Johnson-Clark, I'm Bart Connor. Thanks for watching so much from West Valley, Utah.